Hello everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Selfie. You'll have to forgive me, this is the first time I've done this, but I thought I'd give it a go because I have a lot of people in our guild and among my friends, and they often ask me questions about my experiences on the game, so I thought I'd share what I know with broadcast. If you're watching this, I hope you'll bear with me. Like I said, my first time streaming, I'm a bit nervous, and I tend to get a bit tongue-tied when I get nervous, so I do apologise. Right then. What we're going to be doing is playing through the tutorial as well as a few extra little bits. I'll be taking you all on a tour of Protector's Enclave to get to know the layout, because I know a few of our members have often gotten lost in Protector's Enclave, and to be honest, in the beginning so did I. It was a bit overwhelming to try and find your way around with so many people running around, and so I'll be helping you out, getting to know the layout. And now, let's get down to it. I'll be playing as a paladin, and I know that anyone playing on the Xbox, a lot of people tend to look down on the paladin since they nerfed the build. But me personally, I absolutely love it. The paladin was built for my style of play, without a doubt. I love it. I think it's amazing. Gives me everything that I want to do. Heal and be in the center of the battle. I love it. I will be building a paladin healer. Now, at this point in time, I don't have enough experience to share a tank build at this moment. I'm still developing that on my character, so bear with me. I will include it at some later point, but most of my experience has been with the healer because it's the healer that I love. So once I've gotten better grasp of the mechanics of the tank, I will include that in a later video, but right now we'll focus on building a paladin healer. So let's get down to it. This is an awesome video. I do love this video, pretty epic. They're crazy eyes, without a doubt.
You might want to brace yourselves for this.
Get his attention. Cleric, with me.
See, I don't get this. Now, forgive me for saying this, and I don't mean no disrespect or anything like that. But is it just me, or does Sergeant Knox look completely different in the game than he does on the video? I mean, for a start, he's got a blonde. He's got a blonde beard, you know, and he looks half cast when you're looking at him in the Protector's Enclave, and not blooming, you know, not black. It's like, well, hang on a minute. So, you know, where did the blonde beard come from for a blooming start? So now, if anyone takes offence by those comments, you know, I'm really sorry, but mean no disrespect, but I got plenty of black friends that, you know, don't take any offence to it, so you shouldn't either. I'm just a very straight arrow, so if I come across a bit blunt, you know, tough shit, really. No, you know, if you take offense by that, feel free to stop watching, but It's just the way that I am. I am straight to the point, and I don't see the point of beating around the bush. Got something to say? Say it. Miscommunication is a big problem in this blooming world. Hey, where's the blonde beard? You know, because when I first blooming played this game, I recognised Zuna, I recognised Celeste, I recognised Makos, but I couldn't figure out who the other guy was because he looked so different. It was like, ah, you're not blonde in the video. It was pretty much the only bond with all the others because even his armour looks completely bloody different. It looks grey, not blue.
Rise and feed upon the living.
Right then. So now that my prattling on has ended, let's get down to it. So, before you create characters, it's best for you to take a look at all the different stats of each of the different characters before you decide what class you're going to play, because each of them have stats that benefit certain types of characters and certain types of builds. So you want to pick a character that will suit your type of gameplay. No, you know, nobody can turn around and say to you that there is only one, one ultimate build, because that's absolute bullshit. You know, that's just elitist attitude that people bloody take on these types of games. Ignore them, they're idiots. You know, you want to pick a character that will suit your style of play. You know, only you know how you like to play. Only you know what you like to do in a game, whether it's wield magic, wield a sword, wield a bow. It doesn't matter. Everybody's got their own style, and you need to build your character to the way that you like to play, because if you're not comfortable with your character, you're not going to want to play the game. You're not going to want to play the game, and you're not going to get good at it if you don't feel like you're part of the game. You need to be able to put yourself in your character. This is a role-playing game at the end of the day, so you know, role-playing is what it's all about. Me personally, I love the paladin, so paladin, as far as I'm concerned, the human is probably one of the better characters to play as a paladin, because the paladin it's one of the few exceptions out of all the classes, because most classes, you know, and I know there's probably going to be some people that will actually hate me for this comment, but my experience on playing this game on the Xbox before I moved over to PlayStation, there were people that loved to prattle on about how amazing they were at the game, and some of these people didn't even know that the paladin has two different types of classes. They thought that the paladin's classed as a tank and a tank only. That's absolute bullshit. It all depends on what oath you take. If you take the Oath of Devotion, the paladin gets classed as a healer. You take the Oath of Protection, it gets classed as a tank. You know, but the one thing that that both classes share is they have a ton of health, and their defense is, well, it is critical. It's critical to their development, and they always have a ton of defense. Health and defense are the paladin's primary stats. Now I'll explain it all as we go along, but I'll be playing as a human female, say for obvious reasons, as far as the female goes anyway. But the human, reason I'm choosing the human is simply for this. If you look at the racial abilities, your defense is 3% higher than other races, which is perfect for the paladin, because the paladin, unlike you know, near enough all the others, the paladin is a pure support character. It is, I mean, granted, I've had this argument with some people before. It's like, they all support. It's like, yeah, but the paladin is a pure defensive support. It doesn't have the attack power that the likes of, the trickster rogue or the hunter ranger or the scourge warlock. It doesn't have the attack power behind it. Even the great weapons fighter, the guardian fighter, even is often a lot more powerful than the paladin. If you want your paladin to dish out a ton of power, you have to put the work into it. I mean, a lot of people tend to favour critical strike, and granted, if you're playing as a paladin healer, critical strike is going to go up through the roof anyway because you'll be focusing on your wisdom. But if you don't put some armor penetration behind your paladin, critical strike is going to mean absolutely nothing for anything other than your healing abilities. Because without that armor penetration, and most of the paladin's equipment doesn't come with armor penetration, it's a stat that's actually that's actually based more for the DPS characters like the hunter ranger, trickster rogue, great weapons fighter, and scourge warlock. They're the ones that often get armor penetration put on their equipment. The paladin, you'll very rarely see armor penetration on a piece of equipment made for the paladin. If it has it will be a little bit. Most of the stats you'll find on paladin's equipment tend to be defense and HP based, and defense, HP, and power, because power will affect your heals as well as your attack power. So they're the three primary stats that you find more often than not on the paladin's equipment. So people will tell you, put deflection on, blah 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 blah. It's like, no, don't listen to them. Deflection it's a good stat, but for a paladin it's pointless, because the paladin, unlike the likes of the DPS characters, the paladin has the health to be able to absorb the hit. They don't need to deflect it. They really don't need to deflect it at all, because they've got the defensive capabilities to be able to take minimum damage as long as you build them right. You don't need to have to deflect off an attack to reduce the amount of damage, because if you build the paladin right, you can build it so it takes virtually no damage. Depending on your build. It's like the healers. I mean, all paladins. Something you will find on the game is that paladin generates a lot of threat, regardless of whether you're a tank or a healer. I mean, the tanks have abilities that will taunt the enemy and take the threat off everybody else, but the healer generates threat just by healing, just like the cleric does, but the cleric has the advantage of being able to reduce that threat. It's got buffs and feats that will enable you to reduce the amount of threat by healing. So whereas the heals normally increase your threat rating, the cleric is able to reduce its own threat. So getting a companion that will help you lower your threat, well, it will benefit a paladin healer, but in the later stages, not really necessary. In the early stages, I would probably recommend it if you're just starting on the game. But anyway, let's get back to it. So we're going for the human for the simple reason being increased defense, +2 to any ability score, which we'll go through in just a second, and the heroic effort, you gain additional heroic feat points at levels 10, 15 and 20, which works out well in the long run. So let's go for it. Bound paladin. Don't worry, if you're not really blooming happy with wielding a mace, you don't have to worry about that. There is the occasional sword available for the paladin, and you're able to change the appearance of your weapons if you don't like them anyway. So there's really no need to worry. Right. since we're playing as a paladin healer, we're going to want a good amount of wisdom. Constitution. This ability will enable, say, Oathbound Paladin, your primary ability is Constitution, your secondary abilities are Charisma and Wisdom. Now, Charisma is a good start, it is. And the occasional point or two in it, it won't hurt your healer at all. It can be fairly beneficial, but since we're playing a healer, we'll want most of our stats going into wisdom. Constitution will help because of a lot of the auras that the paladin possesses, regardless of whether you play healer or a tank. They focus mostly on your constitution. Some increase your attack power and your party's attack power, and so the higher your health, the better it is for everyone. Wisdom, again, increasing your wisdom will increase your critical strike rate, and it will increase your healing abilities. So that's the one we're going to be focusing on for our secondary. The constitution will be focusing on all the way through, but wisdom, that's the key. Now, if you're wondering why I'm about to put it into strength, I will tell you in a little while. I will show you exactly why once we get started. Let's see. I'm not really going to go into overly large amounts of customization. I just want to change the hair color. Oh, wrong one. Still getting used to the PlayStation controls. I've only just moved over from PlayStation. I was going to start streaming on the Xbox, but Microsoft annoyed me. I really don't like their attitude these days. They keep giving everyone the attitude of, oh, it's not our problem. It's like, yes, it is your bloody problem. Stop lying to people. It'll do. Alright, then here we go. So, as you can see from the description, choosing your deity is more personalization than anything. So just pick one that you like the sound of, because there's no real upside or downside to it. They all do the same thing, grant you favor to be able to spend in the Vault of Piety. So it's more down to this is more down to putting personality into your character than anything else. So it's like if you building a backstory to your character. This is basically all part of art. So if you're the type of player like me that likes to put in a biography to their characters, then this is all part of art. Say, let's see. Yeah, I think this time around we might go for Kalimvor. I do like Blamin. I do like the Kalimvor. The priests of Kalimvor. I think they're pretty cool. And I really don't like Blamin. I really don't like the undead. Yeah, why not? Let's have Neverwinter as the our hometown. Oh my goodness, I can't get my words out all of a sudden. Oh, excuse me. Hey, that sounds about right. I am playing as a paladin after all, so let's go for initiative phase. Now let's see. Let's see if it'll let me get away with it. Can't actually remember how many characters there. Oh no, one out. Fuck. Oh, excuse me. I got another character, but I mean, in case you're wondering why I put that, I got another character called Lady Beatrix, but it's basically named after one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters. I'm just can't really think off the top of my head of any other name that would suit my my character. You know, Beatrix was a character from Final Fantasy IX. She was a sword wielder, a healer, you know, and basically like my paladin, thick of battle and able to heal. So I think the name is kind of fitting. Let's just put a dot at the end. That should. There we go. So let's get down to it then. So, right, these, the lore, now most people don't read them, but I would recommend you do, because you'll find that in some places there are, I mean, they for a start they give you a lot of information, a lot of good information about the game, so you know what's going on. But aside from that, there are also points in the game where if you don't read them, you pretty much basically cutting your nose off to spite your face. One prime example of this is in Black Dagger Ruins. When you get to level 20, I think it is, you'll be able to choose a artifact. You'll get a quest to choose your very first artifact that you can equip, and doing that mission, if you don't read the lore that's just outside of the area where you got to go in Black Dagger Ruins, you pretty much make sure that come the end of that trial that you're left guessing, because it actually gives you the answer to the question at the end in the lore. Right then, so let's go over here and talk to Wilfred.
Mr. Private Wilfred. Press X when close to talk to him.
Hello, Wilfred.
When I saw the Dracolich attack the ship, I was afraid there would be no survivors. What brings you to Neverwinter in such troubled times?
Hey, well, Neverwinter's my home.
Welcome home, I think. Not a very auspicious homecoming, is it? Neverwinter is under attack. The necromancer Valintra is assaulting the city with her undead legions. Search the wreckage along the shore for your gear, It's dangerous to go unarmed right now. When you finish, head up to the camp at the top of the hill. They've got a nice warm fire up there. You'll feel better once you've dried out.
The quest path leads to your next objective. The path can be toggled from the mission journal found in the main menu.
Wait. And these quest paths. Oh, sometimes they make you laugh. They take you the long way round half the time.
Nearby characters and objects. Select between multiple objects by centering your crosshair cursor over the desired object.
Press L1 and left button to open your inventory. Select an item to equip it.
Oh, right, okay. How about that? Yeah. There's the my VIP. Where it's not necessary for you to purchase VIP, but you do actually get some good things out of it, and it's not overly expensive. And no, I'm not doing a sales pitch. I'm just trying to give you a rundown of why I actually chose to get personally chose to get the VIP. When I started out on Xbox, I started without it, but I still made pretty good progress without it. But it is really good to have, because it gives you an experience boost, so you level up quicker, and you get a enchanted key each day to be able to open a treasure chest, as well as epic dungeon keys. So when you're higher on level, you're able to, if you get a VIP from the very beginning, you know, you'll get an epic dungeon key each day. You won't be able to enter the epic dungeons until you hit level 70 and you hit at least 8,500, I think it is, gear score. So you'll have plenty of time to stock up those keys, and then when you're able to actually survive them and enter them and survive, you'll have plenty of stock of keys without having to spend your hard-earned astral diamonds to be able to open the treasure chests at the end. Right then, let's talk to this guy, yes. Hello, Linklater.
It's good to see someone survive the attack on the ship. When you feel ready, please speak to me again. I'm afraid I need your help.
A battlefield triage.
Although we stopped Valintra's main force, the battle is far from over. The battlefield is crawling with mindless undead who lost their masters in the fighting. To make matters worse, the enemy is raising our dead to use against us. Acolyte Maimon is performing a ritual of Kellenvor to lay the newly dead to rest. That is sure to draw an attack here. I must stay and make sure Naaman finishes her ritual. Could you search the battlefield for any wounded we missed and send them here? After you finish with the wounded, go to Del McCourt's camp and tell him our situation.
Right, now this bit is... Go, mate. Now this...
R2 to use Valorous Strike against enemies in front of you.
This bit is a bit... I was really upset after the one update to the game, because you could actually stay here and level up. You could actually stay here and level up at one point and be able to get your character started off. You know, after the one update, they took that option away. You know, now you only get experience from actually completing the quests. You can't actually get experience from killing enemies anymore, so it's really pointless, unless you're like me and can't stand Shroud. Shroud, don't like Shroud. So unless you're an explorer like me and can't stand to have any place on the map that hasn't been explored, you know, it's really pointless in sticking around this area. But for the sake of this, I'm not going to bore you with running around uncovering Shroud, because there's really nothing here. So yeah, there's no real point in no real point in running around killing enemies because, like I said, after the one update, they took the option out from actually gaining experience from killing enemies, and you just gain experience now by doing that, completing the quests.
We were lucky to drive Valindra's forces back. Thank you for aiding the wounded. They wouldn't have survived much longer with all the undead roving about. I'll try to get medical supplies and reinforcements to Linklater as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we've got problems of our own here. I'm afraid I have a gruesome task for you. We've driven Valindra's main army off. Our Red Wizard allies are still harassing us with summoned undead. Private Hothedon is trying to drive them off with his archers, but they're short on ammo. Search the battlefield and scavenge some arrows from the dead, and then take them to Hothedon.
See, now this quest makes me laugh. I really couldn't believe, you know, how silly this
Radiant strike to lunge at a foe and gain a damage buff.
You know, I really couldn't believe how ridiculous this part was. The fact that you only have to actually pick up 9 arrows. How the heck is 9 arrows going to support an army of people that are nearly out of arrows? You know, I was completely and utterly shocked when the first time I done this quest. I was like, oh wow, that few? Really? You know, you're there complaining about the undead blooming being everywhere and the fact that Valindra's raising an army of your own soldiers against you, and you only want me to bring you 9 arrows. Hey, gotta love the Radiant Strike. Adds increased damage to your character. Say a lot of the paladins, the healers especially, a lot of the paladins' abilities will involve radiant damage. Desecration will not be tolerated. I mean, when I first started this on my Xbox playthrough, I stayed here for absolutely ages, just running around killing things, leveling up. I was devastated to find out that they removed that. See, you got all these guys. Look at this. 9 arrows isn't even gonna go. 9 arrows isn't even gonna go through all these bloody groups. See? And that's, there you go, you've just used up all your arrows.
We must drive the wizards back. Thank you for the help. The red wizards haven't been driven away, but this will at least force them to keep their heads down. More undead are attacking Neverwinter. They're boiling out of Castle Never and storming the Sleeping Dragon Bridge. If the bridge falls, they will enter the heart of the city. Protect his enclave. I must stay and deal with the Red Wizards. Please, go to the bridge and aid the defenders. Destroy the undead soldiers near the gate to our north so it may be opened safely. Then talk to Private Wilfred. He will get you inside the city and show you the way to the bridge. Be careful, these undead are more aggressive than others you fought. Tempest grant you strength.
You're out of arrows. Should have asked me to bring me more, there was plenty out there.
Press square to use burning light, damaging and disorienting your enemy.
Oh, Burning Light is a pretty cool ability, but I don't use it that often, to be honest. It's not really. Ooh. Cool. It's for me. It's mostly for stunning. You know, stunning my foes. I use it. I don't really use it for anything else, because me being me, I've got a tendency to run straight into the thick of it all. I'm a crazy gamer. People turn around and say, oh, you shouldn't, don't let yourself get surrounded. You take tons of damage and rah rah rah. It's like, I know, I love it.
Good deal fiercer than when you washed up on the beach. Told you drying out by the fire would do you good. My mother always says, warm clothes make for a warm heart. You've thinned out the skeletons enough that we should be able to slip through the gate safely. Linklater gave me some healing potions for you. You may need them on the bridge.
Thanks, let's hurry.
Select a location to travel to it.
Then off to the Sleeping Dragon Bridge we go.
They're in trouble! We must go to their aid!
Right then. Now, a lot of people just run through this area. There's actually a few little things, a few little things to...
Click in the L3 button to activate Sanctuary. Sanctuary both rapidly heals and increases the damage resistance of you and your allies.
Only when the computer decides it wants to actually use Sanctuary instead of just randomly running around without using it. Oh, left them. Now, Sanctuary is an ability that a lot of people turn around and say, especially on the Xbox, the Sanctuary, it's pointless to use it, rah 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 rah. Pointless to use it in the later stages, you get better healing abilities. It's like, yeah, it's like your Divine Call.
Gained a scroll of identification.
Your Divine Call ability, when you take your oath at level 30, your Divine Call is a good ability for healing. It is, but it requires, it requires a lot of recharge time. So if you haven't got a good recharge rate on your action points, it can take a while to recharge. And if you haven't got the in-battle recharge, it can be a pain. And despite what some people may say, using that ability often generates fair amount of threat. My paladin on the Xbox used to get hunted by the bloody AI. I swear the AI would have a brat attack. I really do swear it had a brat attack. My one friend who I'm hoping at some point will actually join me in these streams. I mean, I didn't include him in the start because, like I said, it's my first time streaming. I'm a little bit nervous. I wanna get a feel for streaming before I invite other people to stream with me. So he'll tell you my paladin on the blooming Xbox was hunted like there was no tomorrow. The computer hated me. It would literally, there'd be times he'd be laughing his head off because I'd be running around the well of dragons and I'd have hordes of enemies chasing me.
What in the nine hells is that?
Press L1 1 and swear to use Divine Judgment, causing divine damage to all targets in the area.
I'm wasting them on these. You're mad. That takes too long to recharge. Oh, here we go. Wilfred, no! You'll pay for that, woman. Damn all you undead! Sod you.
To pick up loot.
No, this is unacceptable. How can I not heal you? I'm a bloody healer!
Been more cautious. But when I thought of all my friends who died because of her, find Sergeant Knox and tell him what happened. Ask him to check on my mother from time to time.
Hang on, Private, I'll get help. I am help! I'm a bloody healer! Why can I not do anything?
You have to stop her. Lord Neverember is no saint, but he's better than the alternative. If Neverember fails here, Valindra will rule Neverwinter. Find Sergeant Knox. He's one of Neverember's guards, one of the good ones. You must stop Valindra.
I'm sorry, Wilfred. We'll meet again. Right then, now we're off to protect his enclave. Now this place is, it's not as big as it seems in the beginning, because in the beginning it can you're like, whoa.
I am Sergeant Knox. This
He's
city
blonde.
owes you a debt of gratitude. Please, follow me. Many of the citizens here wish to thank you personally.
You know, in the,
Follow me.
you know, look at the armor, it's blue.
The Harbinger appearing so close to the walls does not bode well for the safety of the Enclave.
It doesn't look like the same man. It took me ages to realise that he was actually the guy in the video at the beginning, because it's like blue armor, blonde hair. You know, when he's not stood in the shade, he looks completely different. It's like, it's look blue. It's blue. It's bloody blue. Why does his armor look grey, and why is his hair blonde?
Hello, adventurer. I heard about what happened on the bridge. You stopped the Harbinger. We all owe you a debt. Nox asked me to set you up with some clothes to replace those you lost.
I mean, come on.
I don't have anything
I
fancy.
mean, it's been
Take a look at
what?
the chest.
It hasn't been that long between the trip from the beach to here, so it's like, how have you dyed your hair? How the heck have you dyed your blooming hair in such a short space of time? So you're in the middle of a war zone. You're in the middle of fending off Valindra's attack on the city, but you still found time to dye your hair, really? Because I know sod Valindra, you know, Valindra's not a threat, we can handle her. I'm off to the bloody hairdressers.
Follow me. Lord Neverwinter has asked
Where are we
me to
going?
take charge of organizing the city's defense.
Local barber shop? If you want, Nox, I'll buy you a pint. Let's go to the pub. You found time to get a haircut, so you know I'm sure they won't miss us if we go for a pint.
To that end, please go to the chest for a token of my appreciation for your efforts today.
Ooh. Oh, you really know how to treat a lady.
I have some more work for you if you're interested. Protector's Enclave needs your help.
I've gotten a report about some disturbances in the vaults beneath the Hall of Justice. The guards are spread thin after the last attack, but you've proven yourself more than capable. So I'd like to ask you to look into it for me. I've told the gate guards you're coming. They'll let you into the vault.
The guards are spread thin after the last attack, but you've still been to the hairdressers. Maybe, well, just trim the beard, dye my hair, why not? Yeah, I had a spit and polish on the armor. It was looking a bit grey. See, don't worry, Nox. I love you, really. Hey. Oh. You try and go up here, you get told off by the guards. Oh, no. No, halt. Oathbound Paladin. No one may approach Lord Neverwinter without permission. Very well. I'll be off then. Say, right. We'll get this out of the way because I can't really take you on a tour just yet because part of the city's cut off until you complete this bit. So once we've gone through here, we will we'll go explore the city, and I'll show you where everything you really need to know is. Although actually, hang on a minute. I didn't actually try to pick this up before I did this last time because I didn't actually buy the Oathbound Paladin starter pack on my original character on the Xbox, and I completely forgot to pick it up. I tried to pick it up. No, won't let me. Okay, so got to do this first because I didn't actually try to pick it up before finishing the tutorial. But anyway, let's make our way in here. Lag. Say, vaults keep Neverwinter's history safe and keep us safe from Neverwinter's history. Really? Keep it blooming safe? All of Sentry seem to have access to these bloody vaults. And oh my goodness. Everything they call a bloody vault in Neverwinter. When we get to the vault of the 9 in this game, well, you know, I'll show you what I mean. But it's funny. Myself and my friend were laughing about it. We're doing the vault of the 9 the other day on our main characters. But you'll see. You'll see you'll see what we mean when we get there.
You're the one Sergeant Knox sent to investigate. Well, I'm glad you're here. We've heard some strange noises from the vault. One of the other guards went to check on it, but he should have been back by now. I have to guard the entrance, but I'll let you through. Find the source of those noises and look for Quartermaster Otis. He'll know what's happening.
I mean, these places are called vaults. Now, there's multiple campaigns to this game, especially the end game campaigns, and when you finally get up to level 70 and unlock the River District campaign, see that, you know, you'll end up coming back here. There's multiple times where you'll enter like vaults in Neverwinter, and every single time they make me laugh. Oh, the Gnashers. They're all there. So you'll be introduced to the Gnashers properly in a little while when we start the actual campaign. This is still part of the tutorial, so it's this is the beginning. Now these they may not look, they're not really useful as far as equipment and everything, but a lot of people tend to discard these things instead of letting them fill up their inventory. I'd actually recommend you pick them up, because the treasures you can that you pick up may not have any use for anything other than selling, but you can actually make a fair bit of gold selling these little treasures. They may not seem like much, but they're actually worth more than most equipment if you actually... Ooh. These things, thievery skill kit. Each of the different characters have a general. They have a skill. Yeah, you can pick up skill kits to pick these things up, but every single character class has a skill. Like the paladins is religion, so you don't have to use skill kits to pick up religion kits. The clerics as well is religion. The great weapons fighter is dungeoneering. I think the guardian fighter is also dungeoneering, I think. The hunter ranger is a nature kit. The scourge warlock and the control wizard are arcane kits. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and the trickster rogue is the thievery. Hey, that's all the characters. Yep, that's all the characters. Yeah. But yeah, that's all the characters. So the trickster rogue are pretty much the only ones that can open these things without using a skill kit. But at this point in the game, you haven't got access to buying the skill kit, so you have to make do with what you've got. Down with the Gnashers! These guys make me laugh when they say their cause is just. Your cause maybe, but you fucking ain't, excuse my language. Over here, this little treasure chest will give you a couple of kits. Engineering and nature, and there's a nature kit right here. Awesome. And a engineering kit right here. Introduce you to the kits. Oh, what a surprise. I see it says 75% chance to succeed. This absolute. Let's say, oh, okay. So 2 hours up. You know what? 75% chance to succeed, my ass. More like 75% chance to fail. Okay, so our alliance is gonna be doing Dragonflight in 2 hours, so we'll be right then. Anyway.
You are against
Potions. Can always use a nice stock of potions, even if you don't really need them as the paladin. Unless you're me. unless you're just like me and get absolutely hunted. Because the AI really doesn't like me. It loves to hunt me down. So I can't really speak for anyone else's experiences with the paladin, but I mean, my paladin personally gets a lot of aggro. I've been in multiple different dungeons and skirmishes with. It's gone. Hey, talk to the quartermaster.
The Nashers snuck into the vaults during Valendra's attack on the city. They're here to steal the crown of Neverwinter. They almost got to it, but then they angered the dead resting in the lower vaults. They're fighting each other down there right now. I sealed them in behind the hidden entrance to the lower vaults. There's a secret switch in the bookcase on the back wall. Stop the Nashers before they get the crown.
Hey, there's a secret switch on the back wall and you sealed them in. How the heck did they get in to begin with? If the entrance is all the way up the blooming top that you have to go past Lord Neverember to get to, who is guarded at every single entrance by guards, how the hell did they get in to begin with? And how the heck did they get bloody past everyone, find the secret switch, get blooming down there without any of you noticing? Useless at your bloody job. Lord Neverember needs better guards. Hey, well, the guards are busy fighting the undead. Have you seen how many guards and how enclosed the entrance is to these bloody vaults? Lord Neverember wasn't on the battlefield. So we would have still had guards around him. How the heck did you get in? An arcana kit, yeah? I can't remember if it was this area or not, but I think there's a religion kit around here somewhere. Oh, there's a religion. There we go, religion skill, yay! Hello! It's always nice to have a little look around, although some people won't actually let you when you're doing dungeons because they like to run through it and say, well, as I start streaming the different dungeons for the areas, I'll be getting my friend involved in the streaming, and you'll quickly come to realise that we are very boot happy when it comes to say runners, as we like to call them. The people that like to run ahead and abandon their team just so they can get the kills. And I've annoyed a fair few of those people into admitting they're selfish over my time playing Neverwinter. We've had hate mail galore because we won't put up with it. We don't like blooming people running ahead and ruining the game for people that are just starting out. So we tend to boot those people. We tend to boot those people as soon as they blooming start running ahead. And we've had hate mail galore off them. And I've actually argued with a few of them to the point where I actually got them to inadvertently admit that they were selfish. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, there's really no need for it, because, you know, if you're going into a low-level dungeon, regardless of how high on level you are, regardless of how high your equipment score is, or, you know, how many boons you've got available for your character, at the end of the day, you're going into a low-level dungeon where people new to the game are only just starting out, trying to get a feel for the game, trying to, you know, get to know the blooming game. You can't really expect expect them to put up with you running on ahead and ruining the game for them. At the end of the day, they're gonna want to explore and get to know the dungeons. You know, they can't do that with people running on ahead all the time and ruining the game for them. You know, so, like I said, myself and my friend, we often tend to be boot happy on those people. If we see someone running a blooming head, we vote to kick them. Put a point across. Stop ruining the blooming game for the newcomers. Anyway.
Ah, you're here. Oh, wait. Are you? Here, I mean. Oh, quite. I have trouble at times being sure if I'm viewing the present or one possible future. I'm a seer, you see. In most of my visions, you rescued me, but there were a few where I had to escape on my own, and a handful I'd rather not dwell on. At least now, I know I can relax. Apart from not being eaten, I'm glad you rescued me, as I came to Neverwinter specifically to meet you.
Came here to meet me?
Yes, my visions show your actions will have a great impact on the future of Neverwinter and the entire Sword Coast. I am here both to assist you and be assisted by you in my own quest. No details now. I've delayed you long enough, and you have important things to do. Besides, I have to do some more research in the library here before you can help me. Or did I already do that? No. Yes, yes, I still have research to do. Just come see me in the library once you're done in Blacklake. Oh, forget I mentioned that. Come see me when you can.
Oh. There's that, there we go, the engineering kit, is it? Yep, the engineering kit, 75% chance. It's probably going to turn around to tell me to go fuck myself. Oh, what a surprise, excuse my language, but this stuff really pisses me off. I mean, now I tend to swear when I'm really annoyed. Hey, but it's like, oh, come on, 75% chance. Every single one of them have failed so far. That 25%, really? That's more like 75% chance to fail, 25% chance to succeed. Those skill kits really don't like me. Oh, how dare you? I was in the middle of a conversation. How dare you? I am trying to have a conversation. Don't be rude. Really? Oh, this blooming guy is a pain in the ass for people, because you can't actually get up to him, so you have to get him to come blooming out. There are ways to actually attack him from in there, but he is a pain in the blooming ass. You know, because when you're trying to get up to him, unless, you know, if you leave all those other guys that I just took out while I was having that little banter, you know, it could be a pain in the ass trying to get up to him when you're trying to take all them blooming out. You know, and if you're playing a squishy character, it's not really much of an issue. You know, the squishy characters being, you know, like the mages, especially the control wizard, because that guy has really got no defense capability in the early stages whatsoever. Oh, see? 75% chance. Only one out of all of the ones I've used has succeeded. Damn you! 75% chance to succeed, my backside. There we go, religion kit. The one thing that won't fail for me because it's my blooming skill. Awesome. So ironic. I actually love nature. Now it doesn't really matter which way you go down. Follow the light and blooming whatnot. The light path. See, it doesn't really matter which way you go down. That both ways lead to the same place, so it doesn't really matter which way you choose to go. And there's enemies both ways, and you won't be able to get any peace unless you take them both out. So it really doesn't matter. See, instantly into battle, nowhere to be found round there. But lo and behold, up here, bloody up. I think they're going round after me. Yep, there they are. See, they hunt me. Although at this point, I think they're probably wanting to hunt everyone. Here we go.
Oh no, hurry and get the crown. The Guardian is waking up.
He's not a very good guardian then if I actually let you get there to begin with. Then it's not a very good guardian if it decides to come after me instead of getting the people that are actually trying to rob the place. Oh, really? Is that you?
You're too late! The crown belongs to the Nashers!
Say, they may be on a dead, but they're not very good guards. Now, have a look, see? Oh, look. Treasure chest. Religion kit. Don't really need that, but I can go. You know, I can. You can use it to implement. If you don't need religion kit, you could use it to bloody sell or give it to someone who is going to use it. In my case, I could put it in the our guild bank. Right then. Now that the actual tutorial is now out of the way with this, we'll get down to giving you a tour of Neverwinter. This the Protector's Enclave is it can be a little oh excuse me. We can heal. It could take a while to get to know it. If you're wondering why all of a sudden it's dark, it's there's an event going on at the moment, the Siege of Neverwinter. You can earn some really good rewards from it by taking part. It's there's a few different things available. One of the along with a purple quality mount, blue quality mount, which are two of the good things available, but the one thing that you're probably going to want to be interested in knowing is that what are they called? The main items you receive from doing heroic encounters and the likes in the siege area will actually buy you a unique enchantment that's only available during events called the Quartermaster enchantment. And the Quartermaster enchantment, I mean, there are other enchantments that are specialized enchantments, like the Dragon Horde enchantment that you'll get from the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. Those are awesome enchantments because they drop refining items, like refining stones for upgrading your artifact equipment. These Quartermaster enchantments, I'll show you them in a little while when I get to the bank, because I've already found a couple on my main character, and it's the Quartermaster enchantments will allow you to if you equip them and you've leveled, you know, if you make the effort to level them up and whatnot, they will drop a bag of goods which can be used in the early stages. You know, the low level enchantments, they'll just drop a load of rubbish, but they're good for they're good for, you know, they'll only drop the bags of goods will only contain things like, you know, uncommon equipment and low-level enchantments. In the later stages, as you level them up, they can drop some really good gear. But if you're in a guild, you'll find that if you're like me and you actually like developing things from the ground up, I really do enjoy. I don't like joining big guilds because I prefer to put the work into it and feel like I've accomplished something, rather than just expect people to do everything for me and me just join with something that's already join a guild that's already finished bloody everything, because it's like, oh, what's the point in that? I'm here to play the game, and you know, why would I want to play blooming someone else's game? You know, if they've already done it all, you know, why am I here? You know, I don't want to be here if they've already done it all. I want to help them accomplish it.
Protector's Enclave needs your help. Matters will pull to raid the vault so soon after Valindra's attack. Thanks for your help in defending the vault. Unfortunately, the Nashers got away with the Crown of Neverwinter. The crown is a powerful symbol of rightful rule in this city. It must be found, for the Nashers can use it to start a rebellion.
Now start a second encounter. Press options, select powers, and then buy or reassign an encounter power.
Right, now you can start, now is where you start being able to develop your character. Say, one thing I recommend for a healer especially is this. You know, I mean, a lot of people actually pass over this ability. Sacred Weapon is actually a really good ability because it increases your, you know, it increases your attack strength, you know, by allowing you, oh, what surprise, deal bonus radiant damage to your attack, to your target. You take the Oath of Devotion and your healing is improved by 15% for 8 seconds. Your next 5 heals also heal the target for additional bonus healing. You know, Oath of Protection, that's the tank build. Your next 3 single attacks also force the target to attack you for 3 seconds. See, that's a lot of the tank's abilities actually do taunt the enemy. So, but for a healer, this ability is a really good ability to use because, like I said, it increases your healing power for 8 seconds by 15%, as well as allowing you to dish out more damage if needed. So I tend to use this ability quite a lot because I'm a defensive player. That's part of the reason I love the paladin so much, because it's a defensive character. You know, it's not really offensive like the DPS characters, and it's like, you know, a lot of the characters it can either be, it's like Guardian Fighter, it can either be a tank or it can be a DPS character. You know, the healer as, you know, the cleric as well, it can be a healer or a DPS character. You know, I mean, paladin is, you know, it's like the Scourge Warlock, it could be a tank or it can be a DPS character. You know, a lot of the characters have multiple different classifications. I think that Trickster Rogue, I think, is one of the few that actually has a single classification. It just although mind you, I think the Hunter Ranger is like that as well. I think their classifications don't change from being DPS characters, they just change the type of DPS that they do depending on the path you choose when you hit level 30, because it's like if I remember right, with the Hunter Ranger, it allows you to do damage over time, or you know, oil damage, either damage per second. It's like, well, you know, you can do the full on. You know, for the full-on assault, bloody attacking them with your weapons and all that, but one of the paths you choose, you know, your damage actually increases over time rather than dishing out from the word go. It's that kind of change with those two classifications, but with the paladin, it is the only classification that is full on defense. It is a pure support character. It's not designed to be a overly powerful DPS character. Although you can make it dish out some really mean amounts of damage, but if you build it that way, but its base stats is purely for defense. So if you're like me and you're a defensive type of player, Paladin's perfect for you, because it doesn't matter which path you choose, it just changes the type of defensive character it'll be. You'll either be at the tank that'll just stand there, take a hit and just go what was that, or you could be the healer that will be keeping everybody blooming healed and healing for ridiculous amounts of health if you build it to be pure, a pure healer. You know, so regardless, sacred weapon is it is good for both classifications, but I find that it works really well with the Oath of Devotion paladin. You know, for that reason, 15% additional bonus healing in critical circumstances, that can save your life.
The Nashers have stolen the crown of Neverwinter from the vault, but we still have a chance to recover it. We just need to catch the 2 thieves who escaped and trace where the Nashers are hiding the crown. We know that one of the thieves, a sly rogue called Honor Ray, uses a ruined building near the Driftwood Tavern as their hideout. The Nashers will flee if they see me or my squad approach, but you might be able to corner her and find out if Honor still has the crown.
Then we have now got our first campaign to start. We have all this stuff in our inventory that we need to get rid of, but the adventurer's belt we're going to equip, and this we're going to identify because we forgot to do it earlier. We'll equip them too. Right then. See these things they're just fashion accessories. You'll pick up a couple as you go along. Fashion accessories. They're not really anything major. They're just, you know, just something for looks when you're in a safe place type thing, or you know, just messing around. Not really gonna overly need them. But anyway, now that we got the tutorial out of the way, I'll take you on a little tour of the city. If you come over here, this is, if you're a money spender like me, this is where you'll pick up your little gifts and stuff. So it's like, as you probably noticed at the beginning, I bought the Dragonborn download. This is where you can pick up the extras that come with the purchasing the Dragonborn race. See, like this, the Dragonborn Legend Pack, which will give you all the stuff listed there. I'm going to be grabbing that. I'm going to be grabbing the Oathbound Paladin Booster Pack. Okay, grab that. Aww. We got all these. Pick up. And we've already got my paladin. Okay, once you get your character up to level 70, you'll be able to do the Vault of the Nine. Pick up your sigil. Originally, before they increased the level cap, you had to get 2 characters to level 60 to be able to get the sigils from the Vault of the Nine, but once they increased the cap to 70, they allowed you to be able to just do it with 1 character, and then all your characters could share the sigils. You know, it doesn't matter. They don't have to actually be the classification that it says for you to actually be able to claim them. So yeah, keep that in mind as you make different characters. If you want to play around with different builds on different characters, and you know, feel free to see what fits you best. Like I said, the Paladin is my perfect character, so I'll I don't think I'd actually be able to bring myself to play as anything else, to be honest. I love healing and I love being in the thick of it. The paladin lets me be the crazy gamer that I am. Go in the centre of it all, get completely and utterly surrounded, and just turn around and taunt the computer. But that's where you go and pick up anything that you might have bought off the Zen store. These guys, once you unlock the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, you'll be coming here quite a lot to do daily missions for them. You'll pick up a lot of campaign items off these guys, but you have to complete the missions. Now, this area is actually going to annoy quite a few people. I mean, I can't speak for the PC. I never got a chance to play the game on the PC because I'm a console gamer. I prefer games on the console because I like the control pads. But this area, the campaign for the Tyranny of Dragons on the Xbox actually unlocks at level 30, whereas on the PlayStation it unlocks at, like it says there, level 26. These, as you have to research each of these daily, all of these have 3 days research to do on them, these 4 here, so it'll take you like 12 days just to progress through here and unlock the next area. Then that one will take like 5 days. You'll get some items out of all of these, and it'll help you progress through getting all of these different boons. Although at least up to the 3rd boon anyway. The 4th, 5th, and 6th boon. You need items that you're going to have to grind like crazy to be able to buy from this dude over here. To get the items you need to buy these. It can take a while unless you're lucky enough, which I'm not half the time. Lucky enough to get these in from heroic encounter drops and dungeons in the Well of Dragons that will unlock at level 70. So, it is the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. There's a lot of content to it, a load of different missions, and takes you to loads of different areas. So it can be quite fun, but after a while it can also get a bit repetitive if the game is giving you the same missions each day. Say, which it can get in the beginning stages before you start unlocking the different areas, because like I said, each one of them take 3 days to research to open up, and until those 3 days worth of research are done, you've only got 1 area, and then 2 and 3 until you start unlocking and getting into the later stages. Once you hit level 70 and unlock the Well of Dragons, that's when the Tyranny of Dragons campaign really starts becoming pretty awesome. Like I said, there's an event going on at the moment, the Siege of Neverwinter. This woman here
all the help we can get against this siege.
You know, this woman here will sell a load of different stuff. These are what you're going to want. Quartermaster achievements, enchantments. These things, as the description says, now 0.5% chance after killing a foe to find a bag of goods. Multiple copies and higher ranks of the enchantment increase the chance of finding a bag of goods and improve the quality of the goods found, including refinement stones, campaign currencies, and enchantments up to rank 7. Unfortunately, the enchantments, like it says, is bound when picked up. In the early stages, it can seem pretty shit, but if you're starting out your own guild, or you're helping to develop a lower level guild, these enchantments will really help, because even though the stuff that you'll get out of them is pretty shit, trust me, I know, I've opened them and they're not really that great, but if you actually donate the bag of goods itself to the Stronghold surplus equipment, you can actually put in a fair amount of surplus equipment just by donating these bags. So if you're starting your own guild and you want to level it up and whatnot, surplus equipment can be one of the most annoying things to farm, unless you've got the Sharandar campaign unlocked, because surplus equipment drops like crazy in Sharandar for some reason. It drops near enough everywhere. I have to go back and forth our bloody stronghold in between zones to empty out my blooming inventory because it's constantly filling up. But this enchantment will help out a lot in leveling up your newly founded guild. So be sure, and they're not that expensive. It says 60 of these dragon cult insignias, but they're not hard to get. You'll find just doing one heroic encounter in the siege battlegrounds will get you 20 of them. So 3 encounters, which I think is actually a requirement for one of the quests for it, will get you one of those. And if you farm a ton of those enchantments, they're not actually hard to level up either. But until you hit rank 6, you don't actually require another one of those enchantments to level it up. But you will probably need some wards, but you can buy them off the trade house. They're not really that expensive, the normal wards anyway, and the refinement chance is still pretty high. It's when you start getting to the later stages, like the leveling up the rank 7s and the 8s, is when it starts getting a bit ridiculous, because it starts going down to like 25% refinement chance. I think it's 25% for 7 to 8, and then 20%. And it gets less and less as you level them up, but they're worth it. They are really worth getting. This area later on you'll be using, be speaking to these to unlock them in other campaigns. Here, this place.
To Seven Suns Coster Market. Go in and check out the bazaar. Press L1 and the up button to find Seven Suns on your map.
Okay, this place you'll be visiting quite a lot. You'll be visiting this area quite a lot. This guy here will say dungeon chest keymaster. Now, when you start unlocking the different dungeons, this guy you'll be visiting every single day to get a free dungeon key. Otherwise, you'll have to spend like 2,500 astral diamonds to be able to buy one. This woman, you may or may not come visiting her, I mean, quite often, because you can actually view her products from the main menu. So you may or may not decide to come to actually physically shop with her, because there you go, Wondrous Bazaar. The same shop. You can just even if you're in the middle of a dungeon, you could still view her products. So there's really no need to worry if you haven't been to pick up any items you may need, like standard dungeon keys. Say if you're there in the middle of a dungeon, think, oh bugger, I haven't picked up my daily key, then you could just go into the menu and buy one if you've got the astral diamonds. If you're a money spender, this guy here, again, you may or may not decide to come and physically speak to him. He's available, his shop's available in the menu, like the Wondrous Bazaar.
If so, I have many fine goods for sale.
This is the trade bar merchant. Every time you open a lockbox, you will get trade bars, and this guy sells you stuff for your trade bars. But like I said, he is also available through the menu, along with the trade house, which you won't unlock until the later stages.
It's been a long time since we Dragonborn have journeyed so far from our kin.
You meet with General Barash. These are just this quest isn't really quest. It's just basically an introduction to the Dragonborn DLC. So he's because they added the Dragonborn as a playable race. This is just basically introducing them to you to a sort of a sales pitch type thing. They say, oh, look at us, aren't we cool? Don't you want to play as us? Yes, you do. Download our DLC. This is the Wondrous Bazaar. Yeah, not the Wondrous Bazaar, sorry. The trade house. You may or may not spend a lot of time down here, because, like I said, like with the bazaar and the trade bar merchant, it's available through the main menu, so you don't really have to be in Protector's Enclave to post anything, but you do have to be a certain level to be able to start posting, and you also need to if you haven't played the game before, you're going to have to do an awful lot of grinding for this, because it's a pain in the ass. They restrict you in the beginning in so many different ways. It's like you can't post items on the trade house. You can't post items on the trade house. You can't trade with other players. You can't even message in zone chat. And if you join a guild, you can't access the bank. You know, it's a pain in the ass. You have to complete 5 campaigns before you can actually do that. I mean, luckily enough, this is my second character. Now I've already gone through it with the other, so I'll be able to do all that to show you everything. It will require you to be able to complete these ones here. We got to do the Return of the Crown, the Tower District, the Plague Tower, the Black Dagger Ruins, and Never Death. They're the ones they're the ones that you actually need to do. But it gives you the option to add Helm's Hold, I think, and maybe Ebon Downs as well. I can't remember whether it included Ebon Downs. But there was a choice of 7 different campaigns you had to complete, but you only need to actually complete 5 of them to be able to do all the stuff that I mentioned just now. Otherwise, it'll just give you constant messages saying, "Oh, you're not allowed to do that." No, so as I said, you'll be spending a lot of time in Protector's Enclave, so it's good to get to know the layout, because it can be a bit confusing if you're new to the game, because there's a lot going on, and during peak gaming times it can get quite chaotic and lag a fair bit if there's loads of people running around. And as you see down in the corner, the chat system, people are constantly trying to sell loads of blooming stuff here, so trying to have a conversation in Protector's Enclave is very hard, because that chat box just never stops. It never stops. If you need to check your mail, though, there's a mailbox. Well, there's one down that way, down that direction as well. As you see up in the blooming corner, I got mail, so I better go and check to see what that is. Oh yeah, Dragonborn. Hello. My free gift. Thank you. Really appreciate that, Cryptic. Thank you. Opening these. This is a pretty awesome artifact. So, amazing if you're playing as a Dragonborn, because it increases its power if you're playing as a Dragonborn. This is what I'm after, a blooming bag. A blooming thing definitely come in handy. Ring isn't too bad either, but that bag, oh, I'm definitely gonna need it. It's surprising of how quick you get over encumbered on this game. Okay. Now, a lot of my members in our guild, a lot of the members in our guild new to the game often ask about the mounts and the speed and everything, and I know a lot of people tend to forget about the speed to them. Here we go. See, it's a standard 50% speed mount. The white and green ones go 50%. The blue ones go 80% speed. The purple one's 110% and the orange one's I think is 140%, but they also have a battle ability, so you can actually summon your legendary mounts in battle, come and do damage to the enemy, which is pretty cool. But let's see. Where are you? I'm looking in the wrong menu. Oh, I'm silly. Never mind. Hey, here, common tack. This is the box that you're going to want to change as you get better quality mounts, because a lot of people forget to actually switch their speed. So it's like I've seen people running around on like 80% speed mounts but only going 50% speed. You need to make sure when you get a blue quality or up mount to come in here and change this, because otherwise you'll just keep going the standard 50% speed on them. So don't forget to do that. Equip power as well. As you, who's showing off? Oh my goodness. Anyway, the equip powers. When you get purple quality mounts, they'll come with equip powers. Different mounts have different types of powers. It's like, that's a good point actually, now that I think about it. Where's the Zen market? I bought a mount on my other character. Where is he? I should have him. It's an account wide unlock when you buy the mounts on these off the trade house. There he is. I can see you there. Yes, Goliath. Hello, my darling. That's the name I've given my horse. I love him so much. So there you go. See, he's 110% speed mount. He comes with the 2,000 movement. 2,000 movement speed. Now that will. There you go. Mounts. Go to change mount. Equip him. There you go. See, it's still staying at 50%, but you'll have to select 110%. And he comes with an equip power as well for 2,000 movement, which will let your character go faster. And I'll see the barely bloody moving at all with that, but not that I really notice much different when I equip. I've got on companions. Blooming. There you go. Movement speed. Don't really notice much different, but there is a difference, as you can see. But when you're running around dungeons with people that are going like them themselves are going speed of the bloody wind, you know, you barely notice any real difference at all. But there you are. Hello, Goliath. I love this horse. He's so beautiful. I just wish I could actually dye his armor so it could so I could like change the color of my blooming armor and it look blooming, you know, just look the part. I love him. He's amazing. If I got myself 140% speed mount, I would still keep him as my mount. I love him so much. Fell in love with him from the moment I laid eyes on him. I could be equipping that because of that I'm more likely to use than my Dragonborn one, which I'll equip later on as the game goes on. But it's that paladin sigil is really handy because, like I said, paladin's a defensive character, so the sigil will actually give you additional defense, and it'll help out a lot, especially if you're in a guild that does dragon flights. Oh my goodness, those dragons are vicious, and if you go in unprepared, they can one-hit wonder you. So that paladin sigil tends to come in handy in some circumstances, but I need to go and sell off some of this crap. So, plus, I also said that I would show you those enchantments. So let's go over to the bank. I think I put them in my shared bank. I think. Although they might be in my now this area gets a bit crowded sometimes. There's 2 bankers here, both of them. See, there's the guild banker there, but both these personal bankers, yeah, there they are. They're master enchantments. Armed a couple of them so far, but I want this. This is what this is one of the things I actually put in there for this character, and I put this in there for this character as well. Let's see. With that, I get equipped. I will be. Yeah, no, don't want that many. Just the one. Oh, no, balls. There we go. Separate the one and put the rest back in the bank. This I'm taking out solely for the purpose of, as I go along, I'm going to be putting stuff into refining this, because like I said, until you reach level 7 you don't actually need other quartermaster enchantments to level it up. So it'll be good to, if you've managed to farm any on other characters, it'll be good to just whatever you can get your hands on into leveling it up, because once it hits level 7, it goes up to eventually goes up to 1% chance. Now 1% might not sound like an awful lot, but you'll actually be quite surprised of how often it actually drops. And it's like with the Dragon Horde enchantments, all they drop is refining stones. It says that don't be put off by the percentages. See, these Dragon Horde enchantments, level 8, you have 1% chance after killing a foe to find a refining stone at your feet. Multiple copies of this enchantment increase the chance of a find. That is actually misleading. That's actually very misleading, because it doesn't actually increase the chance of finding them, it actually increases the chance of finding better quality ones. So it's like, the higher the percentage, the more chance you've got of it actually dropping a good quality one. It's not actually the percentage of how often it drops. They tend to drop, you know, fairly often, but not as often as you'd like. The more enchantments you've got equipped, seems to make them drop more frequently, but the percentage itself actually increases the chances of the higher quality ones. It's like, I've got on my Xbox character, I've got refining stones, these Dragon Horde enchantments equipped to it, and the percentages, as the percentages went up, I was finding myself picking up things like the sapphires and the black opals a lot more often than I was before, even though the drops didn't seem like they were dropping any more or less. They were dropping more or less the same as they had done all along, but I was actually finding myself picking up the good enchantments, which will give you like 10,000 refining points towards your artifact gear. Now these, it's like, we just picked up our first artifact here. These require refining stones. It's like refining stones and enchantments. These artifacts themselves can actually use enchantments to level them up. The enchantments themselves, you need enchantments of the same type. Now when you're using these rare types, they're not exactly easy to come by. You can only get like the quartermaster ones, like I said, during the event, so you'll want to actually keep the ones that you farm during the event to actually level up your enchantments rather than use them to refine them. You can get some that's where refining stones come in. Refining stones can be used to refine items that aren't normally aren't normally refined, you know, it doesn't normally have frequent refining drops. So it's like so if you're using, like I said, the quartermaster enchantment, you can only get during events, but you're not going to want to farm like 1,000 quartermaster enchantments just to give it experience to level it up. So having something equipped that will drop you refining items will help you be able to refine them. Now, if you use a enchantment of the same type to give it experience, you'll get more experience towards leveling it up. But I mean, the refining stones that the likes of the Dragon Horde enchantment will drop won't give you as much experience as it towards leveling them up as it would if you were using the same type of enchantment, but it will actually be a lot better off in the long run, because if you have these enchantments equipped, they're almost guaranteed drops, and you can get really good ones that will basically, it's like 3,240, just one sapphire will give you the experience for that to be able to level it up and upgrade it instantly. You know, so they're a good investment. You know, just need to be willing to put the work in. Say, and also if you decide to farm these here, you can also earn a pretty penny on the exchange on the trade house by selling them. Don't try to sell them too soon. Wait and play the market, because it has its days where it's really cheap, and and its days where it's really expensive. You're better off selling items like that because of how rare they are during the times when they're selling for a load. So don't be in a rush to sell your rare items. Be patient and wait. Anyway, we've up here is where this area, if you're part of a guild, this area is a place you'll be coming to visit quite often. This is the tavern, and I think while we're here, we might actually get the achievement for getting ras. Let's go see the bartender. They were ale. Oh yes, ale. We'll have some of that. But first, I forgot to go and see I forgot to go and take some money out of the bloody bank. Been saving up on my other bloody character, putting money into the bank, and I forgot to bloody withdraw it. Oh, crying out loud. Hey, I'd lose my head if it wasn't screwed on. Come on. Right. So you've oh, so come on. Right, Goliath, my invisible horse. Ah, there we go. Right, then there we go. Right, let's the banker. There we go. 10 gold should be enough. Well, 10 gold will be enough just for the time being. Till we unlock the professions, which I think unlocks at level 10 if I remember right. And professions, those when we get to that stage, you know, I'll talk you through the professions, because there are some people out there that actually stay away from the professions because they don't get it, or it's too time consuming, or they just can't be bothered. But when we get to that point, I'll explain how they work, because it is something worth doing if you're willing to put the effort into it. But anyway, here we go. Let's buy a pint or 2 or 3. Yeah, we'll buy 3. Ready? This is so funny. On the Xbox, in my bloody guild on the Xbox, we were sat in the guild hall where we'd been decorating the guild hall and everything. We'd put a load of tables down, put a load of feasts down and whatnot on the tables, and we would all sat around. We done this. You buzzed. Wait, nope, not good enough. It's equivalent to the potion tray. No. Mine elixir reflexes. Here we go. Buzzed. Oh, no. Oh, you were drunk. Oh, the room's starting to spin. No, one more. Let's do it. It's gotta be done. Welcome to your achievement. No, this is not. The camera's spinning. Here we go. And oh, look. Oh, we had so much fun on the in our blooming guild for bloody hours, just fart-assing around with this blooming, with this. It was just so funny, and look at the way it blooming jumps. Look at the way it jumps. Oh my goodness. If we don't fall in the fire. Slow motion. Oh well. When you got a load of you messing around with this, it could be so much fun. But trying to fight when when the screen is going like that, it's an interesting experience. It is really fun though. But anyway, we've given you a tour of the areas you're going to be visiting most. When you join a guild, you will be coming down this area as one of the areas you'll be going quite often, at least until you hit level 70 anyway. You're recruiting these guys, the mercenaries. You'll be recruiting these for your guild to earn guild points. This guy is the one that a lot of people struggle to find, because he's actually outside of the zone. The zone actually ends here. It's not, that area is not included, so take note of him, because that's where he's hiding, at least over this side. And when you get on the other quest to recruit over the other side, again, he's actually outside of the area. He is say one of the mercenaries down here. It's better off to start down here and make your way up, because there's one guy there, one guy there, one guy there, one guy there. Now the last one was the pain in the ass. I spent ages looking for him because he wasn't actually in the searching area. He's actually up here, outside of the blooming area, right the way up here, hiding. Little bugger. They are, yeah. I suppose we've better go and speak to General Barash, just to say hello. Introduce you to the Dragonborn's leader. It's just, like I said, it's not really a must-do quest. It's just basically an introduction to the Dragonborn.
Well met, hero of Neverwinter. Ah, the hero of Neverwinter has arrived. It is good to finally meet you. I look forward to fighting side by side with you against the cult of the dragon.
I mean, you can question him, get a load of backstory on them, and I do recommend you question people quite often, because you can pick up lore on the game that it actually by questioning people and questioning people like this, it will actually give you.
Mortal enemy.
give you information on different things, and it's like there's a few things. It's like Black Dagger Ruin, not Black Dagger Ruins, Pirate Skyhold. It's like the guy there, the end boss of that area is called Traven Black Dagger. You fight like the Black Dagger brothers in the Black Dagger Ruins. It's like, okay, why have they got the same name? Was one of the questions I actually asked when I first started playing this game, and it's like, by actually questioning people like this, I actually got my answer. I was like, oh, okay, if I'd have done this the first time round, I wouldn't have been left wondering. So, you know, you can pick up some... You can pick up some lore for the game and answer a few different questions that you might have by talking to people this way. There's also you can also unlock achievements by doing this. So I'd recommend you do question everybody that you've got the option to. Say, but this guy is basically, see, purchase a Dragonborn pack to play as the Dragonborn. It's basically an introduction to the Dragonborn, so you can get a feel for the characters on whether you actually want to buy the DLC or not. Oh, we'll have a quest over here. This guy introducing you to these things, basically. This quest will just introduce you to these things so you actually know what they are if you come across them as you're playing the game. This guy will introduce you to the scrying orbs. Now, the scrying orbs, I've found a few of them, but there are some that are still eluding me, so if any of you actually do have an idea of where the ones that I'm missing in certain places are, then feel free to say, and I'll personally thank you, in future videos if you can actually, if you actually do have any suggestions on where I might be, where they might actually be. I'm only actually missing one in Never Death, and it's really doing my head in. So we'll accept this, and here we go. There's one scrying stone. Wall of Justice. Next one is up here. It'll give you the line leading you to all the ones in Protector's Enclave, but yeah, there's always 3 in each zone, so keep a lookout for these things. Here's one. Protector's Enclave. Why the Protector's Enclave one is actually next to the Hall of Justice itself, I don't know. Okay, the next one is down here. This will be the introduction to the Moonstone Mask. I think it's Moonstone Mask, that's what it's called, I can't remember. Okay, this building here, I wondered what this place was for the longest time, but there's nothing really in it. Not really. It just if you get the Protector's Garden key during certain events, and it'll basically all it does basically is just let you get up on the roof. There's not really anything special up there. Just a load of a load of stuff that you can already access in the Enclave itself, just with a nice view. There you go, the Moonstone Mask. Up here, your introduction to floating moat things. Over here, now the final grindstone over here. There's always 3 of these in each area, so keep a lookout. And if you find any that I'm actually missing, as we see, there's achievements for each of the different zones. So if you find any that I'm actually missing as I do these videos, then feel free to say, because Some of them really do my head in. I've spent hours and hours just running around looking for these bloody things. They drive me up the bloody wall. But you know, the Moonstone Mask, this area is going to become a even though you don't normally go here because there's not really anything major up there, you will end up being told to go there during certain events. So keep a note of where that place actually is. You know, you've one of my members the other day, one of our members from our guild, he was struggling to find the place where you get your companions. Now, you're not going to unlock the companions just yet, but this is the building right here, right across from the bank. The bank's here, market there. I myself also struggled to remember where this was in the beginning before I actually started finding my way around. So don't think too badly of yourselves. It can get quite confusing when you've got so much in such a short space of time to remember. It'll take a while before it all starts sinking in, but you go there to get your companions. I've introduced you to Protector's Enclave. We've finished the tutorial. We will be off to Black Lake District next, but I've been streaming now for 2 hours, and our alliance has a dragon flight coming up soon, so I'm going to have to sign out for now. I will be streaming every Saturday. So now that you've had your introduction to the game, next time we start streaming, I will be starting off in the Black Lake District, and we'll start going through the actual campaign now that the tutorial's done. So I hope you all had fun. I hope you all had fun. And I hope you all come back for the next show. So take care, everyone. Hope you enjoy and have fun gaming.